Do you know what's happening around the world right now? Donald Trump has just done something that is either really stupid and could ruin crypto forever, or he just did something really amazing and could literally skyrocket the price of Bitcoin, leading us back to a new all-time highs. There's a war currently going on. No, I'm not talking about World War III. And no, I'm not talking about Ukraine and Russia either. I'm talking about trade war between countries. The two world's greatest economies are literally at each other's throats. I'm talking about the United States and China. But why is this happening? Last week, Donald Trump issued a tariff on all countries around the world between 10% to over 50%, and China had the worst. They had about 54% in tariffs. That is crazy. This means Chinese companies will now pay extra 54% in tax whenever they're importing goods or products into the United States. That is absolutely ridiculous. The idea behind Donald Trump doing this is to make sure that the United States is dependent on their own products and all that stuff, which is actually really good. But the stock markets did not like this move. US stocks crashed really badly. I'm talking about over 13% dump on the S&P 500. And you know the crazy thing, because the S&P 500 was dumping really hard, obviously crypto will be affected as well. Now you see, the S&P 500 and other US stocks are considered better risks than something like crypto. Crypto is a higher risk, so definitely crypto will feel the impact more. Now the reason for this dump is because of all the uncertainty around the US economy right now. Investors are scared. Both retail investors and institutions are kind of pulling their money out of the markets, or they are hedging their assets against something that is much more reliable, like gold for instance. Over the past couple of days, gold has actually gone up, which is actually interesting. But here's the thing, it actually makes sense for them to be scared. The game Donald Trump is playing is actually kind of dangerous. Obviously, companies will not want to pay that kind of high amount in tariffs, or even if they do, they are likely going to increase the prices of their products and services. Either way, it will likely affect the economy and could lead to inflation. Overall, this doesn't sound great. So why did Donald Trump do this? What exactly is he up to? I'll answer that in a bit, but for now, more context. So you see, even though Donald Trump actually issued this tariff on all the countries around the world, China had it the most. China was actually the main target. As we all know, there has been a tussle between China and the United States for the longest time, because these are the world's two largest economies and they're always head over head at each other. Clearly, the United States don't like China, and this is something that has been consistent among all the presidents of the United States so far. For some reason, they don't like China. Obviously, China is aware of this beef and they are never going to back down without a fight. So they retaliated with a 34% on all US imports into China. This is the trade war I'm talking about. They are all literally trying to chase each other out of their countries. The world is likely going to feel this. The stock markets are already feeling it. Crypto is already feeling it. But like I said, Trump is not crazy, right? So why exactly is he doing this? So here's the twist. You see, Trump really wants to make America great again. He said it countless times throughout his campaigns, and literally that was his mantra. And I dare say this could be what got him his vote. However, there is something standing in the way of Donald Trump making this dream come true. The United States economy is still recovering from the pandemic over 5 years ago. Because of this, interest rates are really high. With high interest rates, nobody's going to really make money, including the country. So Donald Trump's plan essentially is to send the US economy into a state of shock. This is in a bid to slow the economy down. If he does this, people will spend less money, prices will be expensive, people will be forced to make their products in the country, people could even lose their jobs. All this will be in a bid to force the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates. Donald Trump is a very vocal person. He has already been calling on Jerome to cut down interest rates. So obviously, this is his goal. If the Federal Reserve is able to cut down interest rates, this will obviously spark innovation in the United States. Because of the high interest rates, borrowing has reduced significantly. But if the Federal Reserve can cut interest rates, what that's going to do is that it is going to enable people to be able to borrow some more money. And this money can be put into several uses. It can be put into innovations, it can be put into stocks, and it can be put into risky assets like crypto. The next FOMC meeting is literally next month in May. So in my opinion, this makes the market look very interesting. Alright, this is the longest rambling I've ever done. So let me go on to the charts now. Let me show you what the charts are saying. Alright, so this is Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin is at 76,000. Yesterday, or actually last week, we took a short position on Bitcoin and we ended up with a 60... how many percent now? We ended up with a 63% in profit. And we were able to bag about $620 as well. Right now, my portfolio is just at $3,000. So with this trade, I was able to hit $3,000. I'm going to make a video on this later on. But so far, this challenge is looking good. By the way, if you want to participate in this challenge, it's just $3 for a monthly subscription where you get to see all of the trades that I'm taking. We're trying to trade $1,000 into $10,000, and right now we're at $3,000. So there's still room to join. But anyway, let's continue with this chart. So Bitcoin is actually in a pretty tricky position right now. We're at 76k, and it's possible that we still have the target at 72k. All right, so this is Bitcoin on the 1 day time frame, and just by looking at things from a broad perspective, you can see that we still have a little bit of downside to go down to like 72k. But obviously it's not going to happen overnight. Like I said, the FOMC meeting is still till next month, so we still have like a duration to expect some more downside or some more consolidation to properly find a proper bottom in this market. But I really think that we are very close to a bottom. On the daily time frame, we just had another cross on the stochastic RSI, and even on the MACD as well, we had a bearish cross, so we could still expect some more downside. I think 72k, 70k is going to be a perfect buying opportunity for me anyway. I really look forward to these prices. Actually, on the 1 week time frame as well, we can actually see that momentum is slowing down as well on Bitcoin. And yes, I was expecting Bitcoin to have a bounce. I think in my last analysis I was talking about Bitcoin getting a bounce in this area here. I was talking about expecting Bitcoin to break through this resistance point that it had already broken through, for instance, which is here. Look at this one here. We had this trend line here that got rejected quite often, and then we broke above it, came back to retest it, and I was anticipating that prices would break above here, which was why I entered this long position that I entered. But unfortunately, something crazy happened during the week, right? Unfortunately, I wasn't able to take profits here. I think it was great because I was just expecting prices to just keep going up and smash through all of these resistance levels. But as you know, you don't control the market, so that was a mistake actually. Lesson learned. That goes to show you that even though you know all the technical analysis, the most important part of trading is your mentality and your approach towards the market. If you don't approach the market properly, you're probably going to, end up losing. The right psychology is the most important thing. So when I discovered that this trade failed, it didn't fail actually, it actually worked because you can see, but my stop loss was here, so I still made some profit, about $200 or so. Then I tried to enter another one immediately, which ended up in somewhere like break even after having this massive drawdown. And then I decided to take this short position because market wasn't looking bullish anymore, and that was what led to this downside on Bitcoin rather. So I'm still looking for a short position, but I think the market is probably due for a recovery, and I'll probably enter somewhere around 80, 79k for another leg down on Bitcoin. But we're going to have to wait and see how the market reacts. Today is Monday, so Bitcoin is still looking a little bit bad, but I promise you, no, I don't want to promise you, but I am of the opinion that the dipping is almost over, and the next best buying opportunities is just around the corner. Based on all what I've just said, I just gave you a fundamental analysis on a breakdown of what could be happening in the background, and what I think is going to happen in the technicals as well. I don't want this video to be too long. Probably I'm going to conduct some more technical analysis now on that video, but yeah, I think I'm just going to end this video here. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe, smash the like, share with who you think might like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.